Hello.
Hello and welcome to That's English.
In our last programme, Marco told a story of his American cousin who came to visit him in England.
We're going to look at America again. America as seen through British eyes, como la ven los británicos.
Some British people have strong prejudices about American people.
How to be British. Differences between Americans and the British.
Watch closely now. In this conversation, one person is American and the other person is British. Which one is British? Which one is American? And can you find 3 differences in the way they behave? ¿Puedes señalar 3 diferencias en su modo de comportarse?
Hi!
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
My name's Jack.
I'm Mr. Jones.
Hey, that's a really great shirt you're wearing.
Thank you.
Did your wife choose it for you?
No.
Maybe you're not married, huh?
No, I'm not.
My wife chooses all my clothes. What do you think of them, huh?
Well,
Bad taste, huh?
excuse me, I have to go.
But I love her anyway. She's great.
I must be going.
You know, she left me last year. I miss her so much.
No, you mustn't cry. Not in the street.
I love her so much.
For God's sake, man, you have to pull yourself together.
Do you know why she left me? She said I never expressed my emotions.
Did you find 3 differences between the British person and the American?
She said I never expressed my emotions.
She said, I never expressed my emotions.
British people don't like to express their emotions as much as Americans. So, rule number 1 about being British is don't express your emotions.
British people sometimes think that Americans show their emotions too much.
I love her so much.
For God's sake, man, you have to pull yourself together.
You have to pull yourself together. Cálmese, hombre. A very British expression.
No te olvides de que nos movemos en el terreno de la caricatura. Las cosas son bastante distintas en la vida real. Now here's another difference. Use of names.
My name's Jack.
I'm Mr. Jones.
The American introduced himself by his first name, the British person by his surname. So, rule 2 is don't be too informal with strangers, especially with older people.
Aunque las cosas están cambiando mucho en Gran Bretaña, todavía hay muchas personas que prefieren guardar las formas. Now here's another difference.
That's a really great shirt you're wearing.
Thank you.
The British don't usually give personal compliments the first time they meet. So, rule 3. Don't be personal. Evita las referencias de tipo personal. The British don't like it.
So, that gives you an idea of British prejudices about Americans. But what do the British think about the country, the United States? We've been out and about asking people this question. Would you like to live in America?
I'd love to live in America. I'd like to live in New York, particularly. I think it's a very exciting city.
I would like to live in America. I like it because it's so different from England. I've been to stay with some friends in New York, and I liked it very much.
I think I'd like to live in America for a while, but not permanently.
I think I would like to live in America. There are so many interesting people and so many interesting things to see.
I would like to live in America for their ice cream, and their food is incredible. I also wouldn't like to live there because I'd miss the English pub culture.
I'd miss the English pub culture. Echaría de menos el ambiente de los pubs ingleses.
That was the only negative comment. Everyone there was very positive. They like American food and the American people, and they think America is an exciting place.
But of course, some people don't like America. Listen carefully now. Why don't these people like America?
No, I wouldn't like to live in America. It's too noisy over there. But Canada, I could live in Canada. It seems very nice on the television.
No, I wouldn't like to live in America. I would love to visit it. But I think the pace of life, the different way they go about doing things, no, I wouldn't like to actually live there.
We don't like their way of living, actually.
Too fast, I think.
I would not like to live in America because of the violence I've heard about.
No, I wouldn't like to live in America. I'd like to visit it, but I'd like to stay living in England, where there's more history and my family are here.
I think that's a very common idea, that there's more history in England.
Did you hear the other answers to our question? Why don't these people like America?
It's too noisy over there.
It's too noisy over there. Hay demasiado ruido.
The pace of life.
The pace of life. El ritmo de vida.
Too fast.
Too fast.
Because of the violence I've heard about.
The violence. But America has always been a dangerous place for the British. Let's go back to the 16th century. Who was fighting the British then, and why?
News, news, news. First, the headlines. Fierce fighting continues in America. Spanish, English, Dutch and French try to settle in America. And are the Red Indians really Indians? But first, the main story. There were reports of more fighting on the east coast of America between the Red Indians and the British colonists. Over to our foreign correspondent, Sir Sidney Walsingham. Sir Sidney, what exactly is the problem in America?
Well, Trevor, when Sir Walter Raleigh arrived here, everyone thought that the native Indians were very gentle, loving and kind. And the Indians thought that the strangers were gods.
Sir Sidney, you mustn't wave that flag.
In the last few years, several boats full of English people have arrived here. The settlers wanted to buy up as much land as possible. Unfortunately, the Native Americans are saying the land is not for sale. They say the land shouldn't belong to anyone. And it certainly shouldn't belong to the English.
So, what is going to happen?
Well, Trevor, the gentle Indian has become very angry. So, back to you, Trevor, in the studio.
I hope you don't have to stay there too long. And now for the other main stories. It's not just the English who are trying to exploit America. The Spanish are finding gold in Central America, and the French and the Dutch are exploring North America. And finally, a report out today says that America may not be the same place as India. That would mean, of course, that the Indians in America aren't Indians at all. It's very confusing. That's all from That's English News. Goodbye.
Well, it really was a dangerous place in those days, wasn't it? Who was fighting the British in the 16th century, and why?
There were reports of more fighting on the east coast of America between the Red Indians and the British colonists.
Yes, it was the Red Indians. Why were they fighting the British?
They say the land shouldn't belong to anyone. And it certainly shouldn't belong to the English.
Now, as we said in the last programme, one of the keys to modern American culture is its mixture of races and nationalities.
For a long time, the United States had an open door policy to immigrants and refugees, una política de puertas abiertas para inmigrantes y refugiados. A symbol of this open door has always been the Statue of Liberty in New York. Here is our film clip for today. What's it about?
On the pedestal of the Statue of Liberty are carved the words, "Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me." A sweeping invitation that, inspired by immigrants and addressed to immigrants, and speaking today more directly than ever to the refugee. For hundreds of years, U.S. immigration officers have painlessly shown the way to those who knocked at freedom's door. But to a newcomer of Lang's experience, all officialdom is fearsome. Can some oversight, some flaw halt him now? What is the officer thinking? Am I suspected? These are slow marching moments, leaden with old fear. Anxiety is chronic with him. He must brace himself so that the signing hand doesn't shake. And then, through the burrs and blur of longing and hope and fear, he hears the officers saying that everything is in order. All is as it should be. Yes, he's welcome here. Welcome, Johann Lang. Welcome to America.
The film was about the experiences of an immigrant arriving in America.
But that's all we have time for today. I hope you'll join us for our next programme. Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you soon.